Greetings, everyone. Welcome to yet another stream. So, yeah, I'm late. I was like dealing with some whatever technical issues that I got here. My OBS. Give me a second. Didn't realize you were streaming when I was watching something else. Yeah, I just started streaming right now. So for some reason, you don't really appear in my chat, and I have to manually allow you to be a part of it. The problem is that I have to do it manually. I like to do it manually. Sometimes mounts get like shadow banned, so they don't really appear on the top chat. So how do I get it? Yes. Channel names, messages. Hello Daiso, welcome. And I wish I could like show live chat instead of top chat. It's like I'm just getting it from a browser type of element and just modifying it with like a custom CSS. So I can really make this with live chat. So sorry about that. Anyways, I don't want to stress with it. Okay. So yeah, let's plan. Wow, such important part of the process and such a fun thing to do, right? Planning, uh, scheduling things, UI, everything. Well, I don't think I'll be drawing much this stream, or so I think. Most of it is basically planning ahead because I feel like I'm all over the place right now. So, so yeah, let's recap a little bit here. I don't think this is relevant to this. Imagine blowing your nose and a chunky flesh mass flies out, grabs your pen and starts making artwork better than you. And so you take this mass and begin letting it continue your art career. Homunculus? Something like that? Yeah. If it, ha- if it has the same ambitions, or like a second brain, or like a copy of my brain, yeah, just be happy. Just be happy, man. But I know that won't happen, so. Uh, Plans. So right now I'm just around. I was like wrapping around, thinking about making the prototype or something like that. So currently I'm just wasting a little bit of time to make to making characters that I see like it's fun to make. Uh, so finish character design. Solid references. I need to look for the game engine soon. And also write. So maybe I should do this actually. The canvas. So the idea here is to um things. And stress. Right now I think I need to write. Early. So I have two paths here. Log. Is that what it's called? So I have two options here that is quite important to do in the next few months. I would say so. Either right start of the story or the filler that would turn into the one shot. Uh, in any case, I think if I went for any of them would be a good idea because I have like bits and pieces of the story in my head, and as like a kind of a footnote, so making it so it has like a beginning or something to grab on would be the ideal way to start. Um, what else? Um, there's like another thing. Engine. I have two options here. going for a full game engine that has a lot of functionalities, features, or Rampai, which is more like a VN stuff only. Uh, Character design, either make a new characters, or rework the thing that I have, just so I can, work on this, then work on this. I think that background is quite consistent regardless of the path that I go or the things that I choose here. So it will always show some static background, right? Unless I will go for like a animated background element, but that's seems quite of a stretch and a thing that is kind of difficult to manage right now. So I'm just thinking about static environments. So I think that is just one arrow here. CGs, concept, and pillar, featured, feature location, something like that. Uh, what else? I have to look for my planner here. Too much. Making a game. That's really cool. That's yeah, that's cool. But it is really difficult. Not even making a game right now, it's just an idea. Well, welcome, Digital Graphite. I figured it was a lot of work. Mind telling me what's going to be about? It's kind of a mess, but uh, let me get this. It's basically just it's just a visual novel. So your voice is really nice. Thank you. Um, I, I've been proposed back then. Someone said, "Please marry me. Your voice is so good." But why? Oh, thank you. This is actually a different mic from the one that I used back then. But well, so currently I'm making a kind of a visual novel. So I was like making some tests, screen mock-ups. Yeah, just thinking about how I would display things here. This is actually not the one that is stylized, right? Yeah, this one's the stylized one, but it's still kind of. I'm not really sure because it's not supposed to be that uh, road themed. It's more like a parking lot themed, but I'm not really sure what kind of things you would get from a parking lot to be stylized as a parking lot, unless it's using the same features of a street and road signs. Anyways, that's something that I've been working on. And yeah, I was like thinking about some car game mechanics here a little bit, but it's kind of a boring one. It's just get and retrieve and send things and then advance the story. But I was like planning some other stuff as well, which might not be viable right now. And I'm not really sure if I have any of that. Yeah, I have here some options that would be kind of a mini game that you would do as like scheduled uh from like a day in the game. So you could do like a few things here and check the things that you've done, and work is kind of not optional. So work is basically the main character is working at a valet parking lot. So where is she? She's the main character currently, and I've been like thinking about how I would kind of fit everything together. Uh, see, so yeah, there's like a lot of gimmicks and features that I want to add, but I can't really sculpt creep things. So I have to keep it kind of keep. I need to keep track of the things that I've been like thinking about, and so right now I'm just planning things ahead. So here is the MVP, which is supposed to be the minimum viable product, which is the basic thing that I could do to basically run down everything that I need to make the full release. So it's the fundamental part. So right now I'm just an artist. I don't really create characters, or I don't feel like I'm a character designer or even like a concept artist or environment artist or anything like that. Even like game design or game dev. I'm not really that, you know. So I have to go for things that are kind of in my reach right now. So I've been thinking about making a one shot of like some kind of story that is related to the main idea, and use like a bit less time consuming, maybe not time consuming, it's more like a simpler game engine that is Rampy, and I would have a filler linear ending, but I would have a lot of things here that I could do, so I don't have to do them later. And I feel like um making the backgrounds would be kind of useful, even for like a uh even for the MVP. So I could use them for the full release anyways. It's kind of a it's just a background. Doesn't matter. I don't think people mind. Just there to just make things neat. So the more the better. That's what I. th- The more backgrounds that I have, the more options that I have at the end of this. But I still need to add the it's called the timeline of what I expect this to be like finished or being like in process. So right now I'm just doing that. Few core clients and where's it? It's here. Clients and portrait. I want to make a game so much, but my computer is potato. Uh, mm. But what kind of thing you would want that requires that much power from your computer, anyways? I don't think visual novels are that uh intensive for computer stuff. It's just a slideshow. It's basically just a slideshow. And depends on what type of game you want to make. Maybe if you want to make an Unreal Engine style of game, yeah, that's kind of difficult. Not the problem. The problem is a Chromebook that can barely use files. Oh, I see. Yeah, yeah. No, I understand it. Understand it now. Yeah, Chromebooks. Huh? Yeah. I'm sorry. Condolences. It's an iPad in cosplay. I swear. Uh, Is it an iPad? I feel like iPads are more useful for some people than a Chromebook. Um, they even describe it as limiter. Welcome. Just planning some stuff here. What's going on? Well, I'm just planning my project here, scheduling the things that I want to do because I felt like I didn't do much during the weeks, or I felt like I was repeating a lot of things and not really advancing on some other areas. So, yeah, I think it's time to explain, right? So, I've been doing some mock ups and like things to like kind of a placeholder, kind of a sketch stuff to see if the idea is good or not. So currently I'm trying to think about a good schedule so I can plan ahead and just make them, because these ones are screens or the UI. So and there's like another thing here that I'm doing is the character design stuff, right? Character designs, but they're like all over the place. I don't have like a fixed schedule for when to do it and for how long or like any way to measure that. So I was like planning things in a kind of a big steps of times here. So currently I'm just working on there's like some important stuff that I need to to just solve here. I will make some kind of book. I'm making a video game, kind of. It's more like a visual novel, and it's kind of a dialogue. You skip the dialogues and you get to the point. So it's kind of a book, kind of a visual book. Well, it's yeah, it's a kind of narrative thing, right? Media, narrative media, just like books and audiobooks, essays, stories. I don't know. But yeah, I'm basically just planning some screens here for the, I would call visual novels, but it's kind of a video game, right? But it's just a video game that has dialogues in it and just skip and make the choices. So currently I have a few screens here that are kind of a test things game. That sounds like it's going to be really awesome. It's gonna be painful actually, but painful, but it seems I, I've been having fun, so that's fine. It's just that it's kind of painful because it's a lot of it's a lot of workload of thinking and then acting and then doing research. That kind of stuff is kind of kind of heavy on the mind and physically as well. And I just don't have enough time to work on them like I would, like I would have like a few years ago. I had a lot of time back then, but I don't think I had the right mindset. So right now I'm just going for it because I have a pretty predictable routine, I would say, especially when I'm working right now. So I have like a few hours on the day to work on this and stream and do the stuff that I'm supposed to do. And let's see how long it takes. So that's why I was like listing some important stuff here to write stuff. So I was like giving myself like two options here, but it's mostly because uh, you have one part of it that is kind of a big project, so it would take a lot of time to prepare even the decent version that is like complete, and there's like another part which is kind of making a shorter version just to test some features and some ideas that I have instead of making that big stuff right off the bat. So here about writing stuff. So I could write the prologue. How do I even pronounce that? Prologue? Prologue. 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 All right. So I could write the prologue or write the filler for one shot with Rampai. So this prologue here is using a kind of a more full-fledged engine for developing like different video games, and it's not like the main purpose of it is not visual novels, but there's like one video game engine that is fitting for visual novels that is supposedly easier to manage, but it doesn't have the capabilities to make the things that I want uh, in the long run. So there's that compromise. I want to add some stuff here, like mini games, but at the same time, there's like that constraint of not being able to like spend a lot of time developing and just thinking much about the game engine just to make the visual novel that is kind of a smaller version. So, isn't it difficult to draw using a screenless drawing tablet? Not at all. I'm just used to it, so I feel like it's easier and faster for me. Um, like painting and drawing, like looking at my hand, it kind of feels weird now. So uh, basically, when I started drawing digitally is kind of I started drawing only on screenless tablets, so it's not something that I'm. Uh, it's something that I've been using for a long time. What country do you live in? Well, that's a secret. Well, some people know, but that's a secret. Yeah, my pronunciation is not that it's not that good. Anyways, so for me now, I'm currently using a screenless tablet, and it's fine. I feel like it works pretty well, so I don't feel like I need to change much of my setup. So I feel like I can work on this for hours, but I don't have hours to work on the thing, so that's kind of a shame. Anyways, so I have a limited time to work on this, so uh, if I choose one engine that I have to like kind of develop things, and it would take too long, and then I would have to kind of halt my progress on other stuff, then it kind of doesn't make sense, right? So maybe just going for a one shot here, a smaller story, and then just using RunPy, which is a an engine that is more fitting for visual novels. I think I would produce something in a shorter time, and I will explain here on the side. So there's like two game engines, Godot and RunPy and those are like plugins and other stuff related to Godot. So character design, I could rework the stuff that I've worked on the last time I streamed. So if people don't really know, I think most of you guys don't really know that I was like streaming for some months, like a few months ago I was streaming and doing some stuff, and then it decided to come back, and now I'm working on the same concept that I was working on that last stream, that last time that I streamed. Um, but I'm trying to make it more like kind of a bigger project. But I could use that concept and just kind of rework a little bit, change some stuff that I feel like it's kind of bad, or I think it would be better to change it, to just kind of redesign and just use it to make the story. Um, and this part here is kind of different because I realized that if I draw the background, the illustrations, the full illustrations that people usually use for the backgrounds in visual novels, I would not need to do more work. It would be kind of a permanent asset for me. So I think doing those backgrounds would be kind of useful and would be like its usefulness would be quite quite extensive. Yeah, that's how I would describe it. I could use them later on the final version. So the featured locations, like the place that they work or the place that they usually hang out, uh, those things I could already plan and make a pretty decent version of the background, and I don't really have to just mess with it later in the programming part and coding part and doing all of those boring stuff of game design, I guess. So, but that also implies that I'm working on the visual identity of the things that I'm drawing as a background. So there's something that is blocking it to be, you know, kind of a. I have to think about the visual identity to make it consistent between the backgrounds. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, I will figure it out later. I'll figure it out when I draw it. Um, but after looking at what is kind of important to this project, I decided to make this scheduling here, kind of trying to predict the state of the project in a few years. So 1 year for now, I want to make a minimum viable product, which is just a smaller version of the thing that I want. And for that, I need a shorter story that I could use and like an engine that could introduce me to this world of game design, game dev, whatever. So I tried to uh, make the specific things here uh, smaller to achieve, or like easier to achieve compared to the other ones that are a bit more complicated to work with. So basically, I have no audio here, no audio work, but I think I described somewhere here audio feedback, just like a research stuff off stream. So not something that is kind of relevant right now. Um, but yeah, in 1 year I want to make a mock up of the thing that I want to do using RenPy. I will try to learn it. So I will try to write a filler for a one shot, and it would be a linear ending, so it doesn't have like different pathways to like a good ending or a bad ending or a kind of a joke ending, whatever. Um, just so I can think about the structure of the software itself. I would say uh, of the engine as well, and testing the placement of things and drawing the backgrounds and trying to rework the concepts that I drew already. Then for the alpha release, maybe try to write the prologue using like Godot, the new engine that is a bit more robust, and to make the mini games that I want. So there are like a few mini games here that I described. Some of them are like secret. There's like some stuff that I didn't really add here, but I think that's not really interesting to add right now. So I want to transition from the Rampire engine to Godot in 2 years. Uh, Even though it would be like a linear ending, I will try to like pick one of them. I'll try to validate the UI as like if it looks good or if there's like any issues with the UI and stylization of it. I will try to do it in 1 year as well, but I don't think I'll be able to handle it. So I just placed here on the MVP things that I would consider to be quite fundamental for this version here, and uh, those things are things that I would consider to be extra if I achieve earlier, but I don't think I will. So maybe I'm just making a uh, pretty bold prediction. So I think this would be like more like 2 years, 4 years, 6 years, and this is infinite. So for characters, I definitely want to have the core clients or the people that I would be like interacting with during the game. Some other characters here that I would usually hang out with, and the feedback here would be nice, so it doesn't sound like nothing while trying to navigate through the menu. So for the beta here for 3 years, the full story. I think by that time I would have like a full story. I think because I would have a lot of time to think about scenarios here during those 2 years. So maybe I could adapt the full story here. I already have some stuff in mind, but it doesn't seem like I have a. It's like I have the endpoints, but I don't really have like, the middle line, the thing that connects to the endpoint. So there's that. I wish I could make the mini game. That is the most important part here. The good and the bad ending. So this time it will be kind of a choice stuff. Uh, your choices would matter in that case, but the other ones, these ones are not really. Doesn't really matter. It just goes through linearly. For this thing here is more like accessibility and controller stuff, which is kind of unrelated. But I feel like it would be nice to have some way to port things and use like different devices to work with. But I'm not really sure how it works with Godot, so I just placed it here, kind of a something extra to add here. I don't think I have anything to say about the UI and backgrounds, so I would probably just add this here instead, add more sprites and do more work, visual work, I guess. The characters, all the characters that would be uh, adding the game visually, and audio would be the background noise and noise, like audio effects, I guess. The full release, I really want to make the story itself to be quite full of details and things to like kind of catch on later, by just kind of picking up a little bit of clues, uh, reading something or just realizing that there's like something related there. But I don't think I'll be able to do it with like a linear story. only if I think about it on the spot, I guess, while just try to make the story itself linearly. So even though I don't really have, it's like I need to have the opposite problem that I'm having right now. So basically, I have a lot of small bits of information about the story. I want to have kind of a linear story of things happening, and then I want to go back with having little bit of information so I can sprinkle on that linear story. So it's kind of going full circle for the story itself, from the MVP to full release. But that's what I expect. It's not really. It's not that it would. It would. That's exactly how I would. How it would happen. So I'm just kind of projecting here a lot. All the mini games here, that would be pretty nice. I think it would make a lot of sense to have all the mini games here. Uh, but the most important one would be here already and here, so I think it's nice. The mechanics here for the endings, that has more of a, it's a different conditional mechanic that is a little bit different than just choices, the general choices in visual novels. So I don't think I'll be able to implement this anytime soon. So there's that. At more sprites, that's whatever. Characters, I think it would be nice to think more about the non-visual characters, or the characters that are not visible but they're like implied. So just trying to support them a little bit more, because uh, it's like parents or friends that they met and they're like far away, or some other people that is relevant to the plot, and just try to sprinkle them uh, a bit better, trying to make some references uh, during the production of the game, whatever. And then the last thing that I think it would be quite impressive if I achieve everything would be music. And then that's like another problem, right? To just produce music is just something that is like out of scope and uh, not something that I could deal with, because I'll be making the effort for this project here and not really trying to get better at music. So when I reach the stage where I need music, it would be quite an achievement already. But I don't really think that I will achieve that. So it's just something, kind of an afterthought here. It's just that it doesn't really matter right now. I just need to think about the story and the assets and the engine itself, and then I will just take care of music later. Okay, so here I added whatever stuff here. Yeah, 1 year schedule. So I was like thinking about making, like writing the one shot filler and the prologue, to learn Rampai and try to learn Godot after that. Close the endings linearly. I don't remember what it meant. Close endings linearly. What did it mean? I think it's here, right? Um, it's like if it's good or if it's a bad ending here. Placeholder audio feedback. I don't think it matters that much. the background, CGs, and custom UI, uh, the rework of the characters here, and the character design. And then I just placed everything here in a weekly routine. So it's just a writing session, and I'll try to sketch those situations. I think it would be quite useful and less boring if I ever stream the writing session, because I just go for it, and I don't think that just exposing the writing stuff would be nice. So I'll try to make that off stream and then sketch a little bit. So uh, I'll try to make some warnings that it's kind of a boring stream. Background assets, that would be a quite interesting stream because I would be drawing a lot of environments. Uh, yeah, if I were to think about my performance these days, it would take a lot of time to make the backgrounds. Uh, so it's a lot of hours for the backgrounds. Then the character rework, I think that would be one of the things that I was like worried about, like trying to think more of a trying to reimagine some of the features of the characters that I felt like it's kind of weird, you know. Uh, Then Rampai, I'll try to learn it off stream when I have time to work on that. I'll try to think about a time to test that, but yeah, it's not that high of a priority right now. Um, Quick, long character designs. So I'll try to keep it just like I was doing last few weeks, to just make characters long sessions or quick sessions, whatever. And I have a lot of things to go through in terms of character design. So there's that. Um, Custom UI work. Uh, well, that's the stuff that I was doing here. Here, that is, well, I probably need to test that out and just make buttons to just go from one screen to the other one, uh, just so I test uh, the flow of it. But that's something that I have to do in Godot or Rampai. So at least I have some of the things here that I could use as a placeholder. So I was basically just uh, making the work of having the idea and trying to make a sketch of it. So there's that. Uh, Audio feedback, I don't think that's kind of relevant right now. Log on planner, so I'm using a thing to schedule the thing, to just log the things, my activities and the things that I've been doing. So I'll try to do that off streams or when there's like weekends off. When I don't stream, maybe just so I can see what I've been doing so far. And right now I've been like only working on character design, so there's not much to add right now. But I also use that to complement uh, the encyclopedia that I'm making for the characters, kind of wiki stuff. Uh, so it kind of helps me to not lose myself from what the character is supposed to be and what the character should act like uh, during the events of the story. But I don't think that's it's like I don't think that's that helpful. Even though I have a lot of things that I know about the character, it doesn't seem like that's helpful if something kind of tragic or happy or kind of impactful happens. And I just have to figure it out what the characters would do during the act of writing the character, while doing while doing it, like, yeah, this thing happened, and then the character acts like that. So it's it's kind of a trade-off to just define the character. So it's just like trying to set that personality in a stone, and then when you try to write it, they just try to go for a different direction on its own. So uh that's my current struggle right now, because I've been planning a lot of the features of the characters, but it doesn't mean like it would work or it would be just like that in a story. So I have to update the things and do that back and forth of writing stuff linearly and try to uh, re-engage with the story, and then also plan ahead some of the features of the characters that are kind of the things that I want to explore. Yeah, it's a different ball game. Yeah, I'm struggling. It's just like drawing, writing, and making music. What do you mean? And also coding. Uh, uh, no, it's kind of it's too much. By the time that this is like finished, I don't think I will have energy to promote to promote it. Uh, anyways, um, art studies. I was like, kind of. It's kind of nostalgic. I want to go back. I was like missing that of studying things for art. So I was thinking about doing some sprite research from like visual novels that I like, or visual novels that could be kind of an inspiration to use. Otherwise, I should play them or not. Maybe I should keep them unplayed so I can do my own spin of visual novels. Huh? Maybe that's an option, but I would love to think more about how they implemented sprites and the way that they just present them, because I have a lot of preconceived notions of how it would be, but it doesn't mean that it's pleasant. So doesn't mean that it's pleasant, doesn't mean that it's easier, doesn't mean that it's harder. So having more references, and the way that I learned was using a lot of references, so I can build my own visual library to things that I find fitting for the project, I guess. Even though I've been like doing a lot of effort to doing that without really knowing much, but it's difficult. It's difficult. I feel like I need to research more on that category of sprites. So another thing that it would be quite nice, and the thing that I did like a few like two streams back of drawing the lesbians was to drawing whatever I'm inspired to draw from my original characters. So I think that's pretty nice, even though I would have a lot of opportunities to do that with like writing sessions and you know uh, character rework and character creation. I think making those almost like CGs illustrations would be pretty nice here. So whatever I'm inspired to draw would be pretty nice. Uh, and master studies, favorite artist, I think that's kind of a low priority. That is something that I was like looking looking up to do back then, because I loved like studying from artists that I like, but fortunately I don't have the time to do that anymore. But I want to place them in this list, especially when I have a lot of things that I could be doing. Sometimes I'm like, I don't really want to do this. Let's just study some stuff or just draw some whatever original character that I have. So currently I have things, 5 things here. So writing sessions, backgrounds, character rework, character design, and sprite research. And I could probably uh, distribute that to through the weekend, to the week. So just making them kind of, yeah, one writing session, one background assets, one character rework, and so on. So I'll try to do that uh, next week or maybe the next time I stream. I don't know. So I'll be thinking about that. So currently, I just want to use most of this time to just think about and plan ahead, so I can have kind of lock in the weekly routine, even though it took like 3 hours for this. Jeez. So yeah, I think that's it. That's a lot of information though. So I just make it here. Let's wait and so it makes my thumbnail. So yeah, that's a kind of a boring stream, but it's kind of an important stream. So I can't really skip that, unfortunately. There's a lot of things that I have to plan and just log and just write about, and those things are not really stream worthy. But I think I need to spend those times of kind of boring work so I can make some interesting works later. Um, at least I had a pretty good track of doing the boring work and then doing the fun work kind of at the same time and trying to manage them together, kind of balancing them out. But it's kind of easy to go for just planning stuff and then just keep planning, oh, I want to have this feature of for this project, or I have this character, I have an idea for this character or whatever like that. And I feel like it's kind of easy to fall into that pitfall, easy to fall into that problem, that issue, that mistake. I was just planning stuff only. And then there's another issue of, well, just doing the thing. But I feel like it's just doing the thing. It's probably way better than planning stuff because you already getting at least mileage from drawing. So uh, comes back to that discussion that I had back then about just not planning much, but it's about getting that drawing mileage. Even though I haven't been doing that, but this time I felt like, yeah, I'm just kind of swaying too much from the scheduling, and I feel like I'm kind of all over the place when I start streaming. So at least now I know what I could be doing during the streams and uh, have kind of a measuring device to the things that I want to do. Um, yeah, it's difficult. It's difficult. I'll do it anyways. So for next stream, what do I want to do next stream? I have no idea. Kind of tired. I just want to sleep more. Mm, and I have like some emotional baggage, like holding on while doing this project. So it's not that easy to manage them during the day or during the night. So it's another type of motivation, but it's kind of a toxic motivation of some sorts. Uh, and it has to do with the things that I said on the first stream about the things that happen, you know. But it has a lot of grief involved, so it's not easy. It's not easy, but when I feel like that, I try to look back when I first started, and then I just grew the channel and did my project and just studied and got better and whatever stuff. I think it's all worth it. And I didn't really feel like I was improving that much or doing something meaningful. But now that I look at it from a kind of a distance, it kind of makes me proud of myself. So I, even though it doesn't feel like I'm doing much right now, I wish I could have the same impression in the future for myself right now. It's kind of a creating some expectations of, yeah, you're doing a lot of work right now, but I think it's about doing the work right now. So there's not much I can say. There's not much I can ramble. Uh, so but yeah, I guess that's it, everyone. That's it. Thank you all for watching, everyone, and bye bye. Bye bye.